Good evening. How's everybody doing? Just wanted to pop on and say that I've kind of been watching some YouTube stuff lately, and I've AD and some other people and Frankie has made a few comments here and there. So I want to speak directly to Frankie and the Rezucks that, we understand that your pain will never go away, because it's not like, they had cancer and it was like a 3-month warning that something they were going to pass. This was a brutal murder that happened to your family. And we have a guy, as much as we would like to think, and I think you and your family thought, you probably thought at one time that he was an awesome guy. And as we were, when we watched, we all thought that, it really stunned a lot of us that how could such a easygoing guy murder his family. Murder in cold blood, just murder. I don't know. I can't even imagine snapping out to that extreme that he would have such a deep, deep hate for his family to do that. And that's what it is. It was hate. There's a fine line between love and hate, and that was hate. But, as much, here's the deal. And what I want to say, I've said it before, but yes, I think NK, I think NK probably psychologically jacked with Chris's mind, played mind games, because I think she was very possessive, obsessive, and narcissistic too. I think she probably played mind games with him. I kind of thought she was on board with the murders, but I don't think that she actually had anything to do with them. I think she, not physically, but psychologically, I do think she said, I think she gave him an ultimatum. Either you get rid of your wife, and he took it possibly meaning to kill her, and then the kids were either a side thought or he just wanted to wash it all away. Guys' hormones can go nuts just like women's can. And he was so infatuated with her. I don't know why, because Shanann was a beautiful woman and they had beautiful children. But why his testosterone would override any kind of common sense, I have no idea. And he doesn't fit the mold that we would normally think as a family annihilator. Sorry. But, then again, maybe he does fit the perfect mold of this kind of behavior. But what I want to say is, I know there's more books coming out, and that Chris Watts feels the need to, or he found God. So, they find God a lot in prison, which that's a good thing. I have nothing bad to say about that. What I do have bad to say is from the interviews that I've seen and from people that have spoken to him, is that he really has no remorse. Chris Watts has no remorse whatsoever. I don't know how you can find God and not have remorse for killing your family. And it's been 2 years, over 2 years, and I think that if there was any accomplices that went along with him that did anything, I think that with him finding God, that he would have come out and stated the real truth about some help being involved. And so Chris Watts has not come out and stated as of yet of anybody doing the dirty deed or helping do the deed. So we have to take it that, he did it all alone with the psychological help of NK or whatever her name is nowadays. She's not all innocent of this situation. She psychologically did some things, I know. I don't know that for a fact, but I just feel that, she gave him ultimatums and he just snapped, And he didn't really just snap. He thought about it for a while. This was premeditated murder. He didn't just wake up Sunday night. So he didn't just wake up, and decide, or they didn't just get into a fight and he decided, okay, that's it, I'm done. This guy had thought about it. And to me, he was a conversationalist with NK. He wasn't really a conversationalist with Shanann, because I feel that Shanann ran the household. And she kind of had to override him because he was so, chillax, or that's not really the word I'm looking for, but so maybe spineless or whatever the word may be. He just didn't buck the system for whatever reason. And I think that he was always that way, and that's why he was pegged as such a nice guy, because it was yes ma'am, yes honey, yes baby, and he never really spoke. The funny thing is that Nicole wore the pants too. I mean, she was the one that probably said, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and then it was all about me, 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 me. I'm never going to be your first. I'm not your first wife. I'm not going to be your first baby mama. I'm never going to be the first. Never the first. It was just all about Nicole. It wasn't about... But what I do find super weird is the Jim connection. The NK and Jim. What in the world kind of relationship? I understand male friends. I've had several male friends, and I've had them for years, and hang out with no strings attached, I'm trying to say. It's just so weird, though, that she was on the phone with Chris, and then she was on the phone with him, Jim, and then Chris and Jim, and Chris and Jim, and it was all night, and texting, and there is a weird factor with all this. It cannot be overlooked. There's a very weird factor that is not explained, hasn't been explained, and it makes everybody curious, and so as long as the Jim connection is not explained, and I don't know if it can be explained without some serious problems for NK and Jim. But I still think that Chris Watts was psychologically induced by NK. Don't know what Jim had any kind of verbiage about it or not, but I think that she psychologically or induced or invoked some horrible demon inside this guy, because for years they were happy, and according to him they were happy before. So they were happy, supposedly before Shanann went to North Carolina to spend some time with her family, which I don't believe that, because I do not believe that Nicole and Chris Watts just met in, I think, June of that year, 2018. I do not believe that. I do not buy that. I do not believe that. That doesn't wash for somebody just meeting somebody in 6 weeks, they're killing their whole family. Um, yes, it could happen, but it just doesn't make any sense. And her looking Chris Watts up in 17, I just don't believe that's a computer malfunction. I just don't believe that. So what was her motive? What was NK's motive? Yes, she definitely wanted Chris. She wanted him. And she knew, here's the weirder thing too. Why in the hell did she tell Chris, I think it was 2 or 3 days before he murdered his family, to delete his Facebook? If there wasn't some kind of weird crap going down, if she seriously thought that they were legit separated, because that supposedly is what he said, we're separated and just staying together until we can sell the house, why did she tell Chris Watts to delete his Facebook? Why? Makes no sense. Now, as far as deleting messages off your phone, if I've done it, I've got upset with the person I was with. There's been a couple of people that I've done that with. And I just was like, I'm done. I'm kind of a burst signer person. I don't know what NK zodiac sign is. I don't know what she is, but I don't even know what Chris Watts is. But I could probably look it up, but I don't know. But I'm the kind of person, if I get pissed off at somebody, I will straight up unfriend and delete messages. So that's, I don't know what to think about that. She could be just like how I am, and you get really pissed off and want to delete. The real shocker of it all is I always thought, even though you deleted messages, that they never really delete. And honestly, every time I send a message, it goes to the cloud. So we're talking 2 years ago. The cloud was around. What they have got, those messages were in the cloud. I don't know if those were a bunch of dumbasses, detectives that couldn't figure it out. I don't really know. But that's another weird thing. Another weird freaking thing in this case. And this is why the case never gets untalked about. And I'm not trying to bring it all back. I'm just stating some things that I've seen and why I think that the case just will never die. It just will never die. It will never close completely. Maybe. So, yeah, that's a weird factor. The case of the deleted emails. And surely they had to be on Chris Watts' phone too. So there's that. So, I think that the detectives and the prosecutor and all of those involved, once he failed his polygraph, and once the dumbass come up with the lie that Shanann was trying to kill or he caught her trying to kill the kids, whatever bullshit he was talking about. I just think that they got a hard on, and forgive me for saying that, but they just said, okay, we got it. Case closed. He did it, and that's it. They really kind of. So we ask ourselves, and Frankie and the Rezecs, this is why the case keeps getting talked about. Not that I'm trying, I'm going to be on here making video after video and video. I'm not. I think I made maybe one, and it was a long time ago. But with the books coming out, apparently they're about finding God and blah blah blah. So, like I said, I'm glad he found God. I mean, but he didn't ask for forgiveness, or at least he didn't, as far as I know. He never asked the Ruzaks for forgiveness, and he never wrote him a letter and said, I hate myself for doing this. I'm a bad person, but I've found the Lord, and I'm a good person now, and I want forgiveness. Another weird factor is, why did they not release his mental records? Why are they closed? I mean, I understand he has the right, the HIPAA Act, but did they find a defect in Chris Watts? Or was it simply a case of domination by a seductive woman, if you want to call her that? I don't have any respect for NK whatsoever. I can't stand her. And I don't know how I'm sure the Ruzaks hate her guts. I mean, after all, she held the key to Chris's heart, and I feel like she could use him as a puppet. I still don't think that she physically had anything to do with their deaths. Mentally, yes. So if the Ruzaks are watching, and I'm just a tiny little O channel, I have no impact. But if you are watching, I think I was really just trying to explain it to you guys that the questions go unanswered, as with many murders. But this was devastating because of not only Shanann, but the children, and in the awful, horrific way that he went about disposing of the bodies. And I think it doesn't set with us humans. We just can't wrap our minds around it, and that's why people keep talking about it. But then Chris Watts keeps bringing it back because now he's writing a book. Now, I think it would be fantastic if he wrote a book and verbally said all the proceeds, because they would go to the, if he would just announce that he wanted to do this book, and title it A Total Confession from Chris Watts, and all the proceeds go to the Ruzaks, which they should be compensated. They lost their family. They should get every dime that they can get out of Chris Watts. And I mean all of them, and that includes Frankie. Every single one of those family members, the mother, the father, and Frankie, should be compensated for the loss that they got from any proceeds at all from a book. I'm sorry, that's just the way I feel. My heart bleeds for them. I really feel for them. It's unbelievable what they've gone through. We can't imagine what they've gone through. Not one of us can imagine. So would it really be too much? And I'm just putting this out there. I don't have 1,000, 20,000, 40,000, 60,000, 100,000 subscribers to bring in money. But would it be awful for these creators that are creating and making money off the Watts? And I don't know how many there are. AD says he doesn't monetize his Watts chat anymore. I don't know, but he still gets money, I think. I don't know. I don't keep up with the guy. But would it be out of the realm of possibility if a creator is bringing in $1,000 a month to give 10% to the Ruzaks? Would that be totally asking too much to give them 10% of their money? I don't think so. I think that would be a good thing to do. So as it goes, this will keep going on until we get either a book from Chris Watts, with 100% forgiveness, book about the true actual events that happened and leading up to, so pre, post, pre, present, and post, an accurate account of what really happened. I think that would really help the Ruzaks put this to rest a little bit, and they could put their minds at ease a little bit if they really knew exactly what happened. Now, like I said, I'm not going to be talking about this. This is just on my head tonight, and I just wanted to. Well, anyway, I'm going to close it up for now. I hope that some of the concerns that we have, some of the questions that we have, I hope that kind of answers that for the Ruzaks as to why a lot of creators still talk about this case. And I think that it's not a bad thing to talk about it, but just, of course, I don't know that they mind if you talk about it. They've got a problem with people making thousands of dollars off of it if that's their sole content of that, and that's what it was. But I just want them to find peace, and I want Chris Watts to ask them for forgiveness. I'm sure he's aware of some of the big creators on YouTube. I wish somebody would get to him and tell him, just get to Chris Watts and let him know that without him asking them for forgiveness, that it doesn't look like a true Christian thing. It just looks like he is trying to save his own ass from maybe going to hell. But honestly, you're judged by your heart. So if anybody does talk to Chris Watts, maybe they need to explain what heaven and hell and forgiveness and all that's about, because I don't think he quite gets it yet. And I'm not judging him because I don't know him, but that's what it looks like from the outside looking in. But anyway, you guys, I want you to have a really great night and a great weekend ahead, and happy Halloween, and stay safe. Good night.